But Bruce Wayne has not always been Batman. In fact, many different characters have taken up the mantle over the years. Today, we're going to be talking about 11 characters besides Bruce Wayne who have put on the Bat Cowl. First on the list is Damian Wayne. Now, Damian Wayne is just a 10-year-old right now, but this Robin sees himself as the only worthy successor to the Bat Cowl, because of the whole bloodline thing. In Grant Morrison's Batman issue 666, we take a look at a possible future where Damian has indeed become the Batman. However, he also traded his soul to the devil in order to make himself immortal and able to heal from any injury instantly. And this is a much darker Batman, which is saying something. And he's not at all afraid to execute criminals or even bring down whole buildings in order to stop a supervillain. Terry McGinnis. Like Harley Quinn, Terry McGinnis was originally created for an animated series. Then, just by sheer popularity among the fans, was later ushered into the comics. Terry lives some 30-odd years in the future, when an elderly Bruce Wayne passes the Batmantle down to him, along with a super high-tech batsuit. Now Terry's the new Batman, dedicated to serving and protecting Neo-Gotham from dangerous new and old criminals. Alfred Pennyworth. Alfred Pennyworth, Batman's loyal butler and friend, has even put on the cowl and costume before. In Batman Rebirth, there's a new hero turned villain known as Gotham who is terrorizing Gotham, the city. Needing a way to keep the villain distracted, Bruce enlists the help of Alfred. Knowing that only the Caped Crusader could grab Gotham's attention, Alfred gets in the suit and gets behind the wheel of the Batmobile. He's able to drive the Batmobile straight into Gotham, gets out of the wreckage, announces, "I'm Batman," before being given the go-ahead to flee the scene, which he does in spectacular fashion. John Paul Valley. The son of the villain Azrael, John Paul Valley was the secret assassin for the Sacred Order of St. Dumas until he met Batman. He eventually came around to Bruce's way of doing things and agreed to live in Gotham and serve alongside the Caped Crusader. Bruce even began to train him as a replacement to Batman should the need ever arise. Now, the need came much sooner than expected, as Bane broke Batman's back and put him out of commission. Valley stepped up to defend Gotham in a brightly colored, technology-enhanced batsuit. But his methods were much too brutal, and his mind was broken by the Order's conditioning. He was later beaten and replaced by Dick Grayson. Speaking of Grayson, he has served his time as Batman and has been the Caped Crusader for longer than anybody on this list. The first time was after John Paul Valley, and Dick even continued after Batman returned from his broken back because Bruce opted not to pick back up the mantle. He's also been Batman after the Battle of the Cowl storyline, where he picked up the cowl during Bruce's absence and even served on the Justice League as Batman. Thomas Wayne. Thomas Wayne, Bruce's father, was the Batman of the Flashpoint universe, where Thomas and Martha survived the shooting outside the theater and Bruce had been killed. Thomas also becomes the Batman of Earth 2, after Bruce had died saving the world. It turns out that Thomas had faked his death earlier in life, only to return and pick up the cowl of Batman as a way to make up for his past mistakes. Jason Todd. During the Battle for the Cowl storyline, Jason Todd, aka the Red Hood, made a play to become Bruce's one true successor. He fashioned his own signature batsuit, grabbed his trademark dual pistols, and went to work. His goal was to turn Batman into a more fear-inducing, mythical type of Batman, rather than the public figure Batman had been in the past. A brutal fight with Dick Grayson and Jason Todd eventually brought an end to Jason as Batman, although Todd did nearly kill Tim in the process with a battering through the chest. Hugo Strange. Dr. Hugo Strange is a psychologist who is dangerously and incurably obsessed with Batman. He's incredibly dangerous, It is actually the only Batman villain to have deduced Bruce's secret identity entirely on his own. The villain started off simply trying to psychologically profile Batman for the Gotham City PD, but he slowly began to break down and his behavior got worse and worse. In fact, it got to a point where he fashioned his own Batsuit and began to plot and figure out a way to destroy Bruce Wayne in order that he can become the new Batman. Tim Drake. Like Dick and Jason before him, Tim also donned the Batsuit during the Battle for the Cowl storyline. Unlike the other two though, Tim never really showed a desire to become the new Batman. He just put on the uniform in order to help put a stop to the brutal, murderous reputation that Jason was giving to the Bat legacy. Jim Gordon. Following the Joker's in-game plot, Bruce Wayne was killed, but then reborn without his memories or crime-fighting ability. Because of this, Gotham needed a new Bat. Who better than Batman's greatest friend in the police department, Jim Gordon? He was outfitted with a high-tech armored suit and sent out to go stop crime on the streets of Gotham. However, Jim realized that fighting crime within the confines of the law was very different than the true freedom vigilantism allows Batman and other heroes. Clark Kent. Superman and Batman have traded costumes several times throughout the years, but perhaps the most memorable one was in Superman and Batman issue 55. In this issue, thanks to some medieval magic, Superman's powers were transferred to Batman, leading Clark to be powerless. Unfortunately, absolute power goes straight to Bruce's head and causes him to lose control. At first, he was just using his powers to make the world better, to stop more crime and to save more people. But then he punched a hole through Bane's chest, threatened the Justice League, and even beat down Catwoman and Nightwing. So Alfred creates a modified Batsuit for Superman in order to protect his mortal body. It looks very much like Batman's suit, but it doesn't have a cowl and has a specially modified symbol on the chest. With Satana's help, Clark was able to defeat Bruce and retake the mantle of Superman. So that's it. Those are 11 characters who have donned the Batman cowl. Who was your favorite? Sound off in the comments down below.